The SBA has introduced a fifth 6-month hardship accommodation period. But I have to express my opinion because if you have been watching our COVID-19 EIDL channel for any length of time, you know I'm an opinionated old dude. I'm a former mortgage banking loan officer with 30 years in the lending industry, specializing in government loans. I've processed thousands of transactions during and after the pandemic with small businesses and the SBA. We helped 500 clients who hired us during the pandemic to get $70 million in approvals. Our videos here, by our estimate, helped another $30 million of approvals with the free videos we did. I have the right to kind of be arrogant in my opinion here. Up until about a week ago, right now it's October 10th, 2024, the SBA would give you 4 6-month hardship accommodation periods with reduced payments. The first 2 periods of 6 months each with a reduction as low as 10% of the required payment every month, a 90% reduction if you will. And the third 6-month period is a 50% reduction of your payment. The fourth 6-month period is a 25% reduction in your payment. So SBA has added a fifth 6-month period at the 25% reduction. So that gives you a total with extensions of 2.5 years of reduced payments to help you manage repayment of the loan and avoid default. And here's my opinion. It's not about you small business owners. No. It's about the SBA. And my opinion is SBA, seriously? 25% reduction. First of all, SBA, you're not telling business owners about this program. I know this for a fact because I just spoke to somebody yesterday who's a CPA and he's got dozens of clients who have the COVID-19 EIDL and he wants to engage our services for assisting with something. And I said to him, well, are any of these loans that we're talking about in the hardship accommodation program? He said, what's that? This is a CPA, and he doesn't know what it is because you know why? The SBA is not telling people. They're not actively telling people. By the way, if you have challenges with making payments on this loan, contact us because we have a program. They're doing it, but it's very scattered. It's not a dedicated, comprehensive communications program. But if you've been hanging around with me any length of time, you know that I've long said that SBA's communications, both externally and internally, is terrible. They have terrible communication. You speak to one SBA rep, they tell you something completely different than the other SBA rep says about the same question. And in this case, the hardship accommodation, the SBA is not really communicating this information out here into the world. It's folks like us, and we don't work for the SBA. Just to be clear, we do not work for the SBA. We're not affiliated with the SBA. We don't have any kind of partnership with the SBA. We don't know anybody at the SBA. We do this because we set out in March of 2020 committed to helping people get through the pandemic to help their small businesses avoid the most detrimental aspects of a global pandemic. I don't know. I think we've been pretty successful. But SBA, I'm calling you out here because not only are you not communicating about this, but this fifth hardship accommodation period at a reduction of only 25%, we have people coming to us all the time saying, is there any other option? I get an email just 2 days ago where the business owner said, I'm coming to the end of my second accommodation period. So he's had 2 6-month accommodation periods at 10% of the payment, right? 90% reductions. And he says, I'm getting back on my feet slowly but surely, but I'm not there yet. And I'm not going to be able to afford the third hardship period where it goes from 10% of my payment to 50% of my payment. I can't afford it. What can I do? And my answer to this person is there's nothing you can do because the SBA doesn't have any other option. What can you do? Close your business, default on the loan, file bankruptcy? I mean, the consequences of that is horrible because the federal government has a long memory. And if you default on this loan, you're going to have serious issues doing business with the government in the future for years and years and years. You want to buy a house and get a government insured mortgage? It's going to be a problem. You want to get a grant from the government 10 years from now to start up a new business or to do some other kind of aspect of your business? Not going to happen because you defaulted on a federal debt. And the SBA isn't providing any other guidance on what you can do in the event that you cannot afford these increasing hardship accommodation payments. So SBA, while I applaud you on the one hand for taking a slightly proactive approach and giving people 2.5 years, I have to really fault you for not reading the room and not understanding your audience, your constituents. As ℬ𝒜𝒤𝒦𝒢ℛ𝒪𝒰𝒩𝒟𝒮 says, 30 million small businesses are the constituents of the Small Business Administration. Well, SBA, I'm sorry, but I believe you failed here. And for small business owners, be aware that you now have 5 6-month periods of hardship accommodation for a total of 2.5 years consecutive if you request extensions. If you want to learn how to apply for the hardship program or request extension or other aspects of managing your COVID-19 EIDL, we created the EIDL Resource Hub for you, which gives you comprehensive how-to step-by-step instructions created by this dude right here because this is what I've been doing since March of 2020, 4.5 years. And do I look exhausted? Because I'm not, but I am. Yes, I am. I'm exhausted. But I have learned a lot. I've brought my 30-year loan officering experience to bear to help our clients get approved for $70 million and to help people manage the transactions after the pandemic. We created the Resource Hub to help you be successful. It's a comprehensive how-to guide. There's the downloadable guidebook. There's a private playlist of instructional videos on every transaction you're going to have to do with the SBA, whether you're closing a business, selling assets, changing your business address, applying for a natural disaster loan, and so on and so forth. It's all in the Resource Hub. And the current price, which if you purchase the Resource Hub today, you will have free updates through December 31st of 2024. And let me tell you why that's important, because I'm about to publish a massive update to the Resource Hub with a lot more detail, a lot more comprehensive information. And when we publish those updates, we will be increasing the price of the Resource Hub substantially. So this is your FOMO, fear of missing out opportunity to jump in and get your access to the Resource Hub today, because you will get those updates for free through December 31st, 2024.